Okay, welcome, family. We are live here. I'm just trying to fix up um, my sound check here to make sure everyone can hear that. Can you hear me, Mike? Can you hear me?
Okay.
You can hear me now? Hold on, family. Uh, can you hear me, Mike? Testing, 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 testing. One, two, three,
Can you
testing.
hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Oh, not yet. Mike, can you hear me now? Hello? Um, Peace, brother Hop Bay. Um, let's see here. Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me? Oh, Mike, you are muted. Uh, you are muted there. Um, okay, Karen Williams, welcome. Black Lens, welcome. Can the family in the chat hear me? Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Got to make sure this sounds working here. Put a one in the chat, please. Can the family hear me? Okay, one. Yes. Okay. A salute, welcome, Mr. Williams. Make me better one. Okay, Mike, you are muted. Um, you're muted there, Mike. Yes. Okay. Now, family, I'm going to share my screen quickly. Um, welcome there, 00. I'm going to share my screen quickly, and we're going to do a quick check here. I need the family to help me out to see if you can see this and hear this. Hold on. Share my screen. I'm going to run a real family. Okay, see. So let me know if the family can hear this. Put a one in the chat if you heard that. Did you just see that little video of Deion Sanders? Did the family see that and hear that? Put a one in the chat one more time. Oh, so Karen, you could you see it? Put a yes, Karen, if you saw at least saw it. Okay, so you saw it, but you couldn't hear it. Okay, so hold on. Hold on. Let me, how about now, family? Can you hear it now? Oh, so you can hear it now. So we're good now, right? Sound is low. Okay, hold on. Okay, that when I go up there, you got that echo there. Hold on. How's the sound now? Is it still low? Still low. How's that? Is that better? Is it higher? How's that, Willie? The sound. Okay, well, okay, I was talking about the video there. Could you hear the video? Well, that maybe that's just not a good video to show because it's kind of no one speaking. Hold on a second, fam. Let's just pull something up different here. I gotta make sure this is sound. Let's try. Let's try. Let's see here. Someone talking loud. Someone talking loud. Let's see here. TV show. Well, this guy likes to talk a lot. Let me know if you can hear that. Let me know if the family heard that. No video sound, still low. 2. Wow, that's not good. No video sound, still low. Because I have a lot of videos here to show, family. Let's see here. Nope, couldn't hear it. Hold on. Let me play it again here. Let's see. Okay, salute. Nope, can't hear it. Okay, so let me go to settings and adjust it here. Let's try that. Okay. Testing, testing. Can you hear the video now? How about is that you can hear that? Okay, great. You can hear Dion talk. Is it low or you just can't hear it at all now? Go back here to this and testing, testing. How about now? Phyllis Brown, can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? GR Niji. Can you hear the video, Phyllis? Can you hear Deion Sanders talking? We hear, okay, you can hear me. Okay. No sound. Only hear me, no sound. Video 2. How about the video now? Video, yes? You can hear it now? No. How about now? No. Okay, how about now? No. Okay, how about now? No video sound. Wow. Um, stereo audio. Automatically adjust mic volume. Echo cancellation. Reduce mic background noise. Okay, let me turn it up. How about that? Okay, let me get off of here. I'm playing it too much there. Okay. Um, still no video sound. Okay, we'll try to work through this family here. We'll figure it out on the fly here. Um, can you hear me now, at least? Am I loud and clear? There's still no sound. Whoa. Whoa. Can you hear me? Testing, testing. Okay, you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, so no video sound. And I have a lot of videos to show. Well, thanks, family, for tuning in here. I have a lot of videos here to show here. And I guess, matter of fact, maybe it's best to show without a sound, and then I'm going to talk the family through it. And that may prevent me getting a strike, maybe, I guess. Um, so we're going to part two of You Can't Handle the Truth, which is kind of my, just sharing with the family some important historical. Okay, that's great. Thank T. Maliki Atzuri. You can hear me. Um, yeah, so we're going to continue with some important historical points that I want to impress upon the family to help break the spell of the sorcery that we've all been subjected to growing up, in particular in this, well, yeah, I guess the world is affected, but in our respect for pertaining to us, this is with the intent to help break the spell. So we're going to start out here, and I've been, listening and seeing the current topic talking points around, and there still seems to be a lot of us are still under the sorcery, especially when it comes to the individuals who came over or returned. What I say returned in the 1600s. We need to get a clear. We need clarity on who they were, and hopefully this will go towards clearing all of that up. And many others have presented similar topics there and showed incredible information. But I want to start out with this. Now, just to explain, we'll get my thumbnail. That would be towards the end of my presentation. We're going to get into that thumbnail there, who that individual was, and the sorcery they put on him to hide who he really was. But we're going to get into that. But we're going to start off here with some images, some ancient Iberian images, right? Um, and this is sourced from museums there in what they call Spain today. I just want to I'm going to start with these images here, family. Let's hide that there. Okay. So let's make sure I'm sharing. My screen is sharing here. Hold on. My screen is sharing, right? So can you see those images, family? Put a one in the chat if you can see those two images there. Hold on, let me use my other device so I can see the chat. Let's see, here we go. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you can see that. Okay, so these are, thanks, Mike. These are um, well, let me say hello to everyone in the chat before we begin here. Greetings there, Karen. Appreciate you. Phyllis Brown. Appreciate your presence. Willie Lilly. Want to love to you and your family. Genesis MC, welcome. Of course, Lord Fry, as always. Booker T. Aborigine, welcome. Ghetto Child Clinic, welcome there. Good evening. Mr. James Williams, welcome. R.L. Smith, noble one, welcome there, brother. Appreciate you. Of course, the Empress Hobart there, welcome. Hope all's well with you and your family. Empress Awaken, good evening. T. Malki Azuri, welcome. And J.R. Niji, welcome, noble. And Miss Marva Monroe, glad to have you here. So we got everyone there so far. Yep. El Kimon Hope Bay, welcome, noble. Ghetto Child Clinic, honors. Yeah, sure, I got everyone there. Okay. Yep. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue here. So these are ancient Iberian images. Okay. So we can clearly hold up. Okay, right here, blow it up there for the family. Beautiful pieces there. You see. Hold on. Wow. Okay. There. So we see that there. And let's go to the next image. Just so we can get grounded on things here and help break the sorcery. Here's another image there. Clearly see the crop curly hair and beard. These are ancient, Iberians. Some call them Ciliars, right? Let's go to the next image real quick. Here's another one. Zoom in. So we see that. Okay, and then the final image. Okay, and here's another one. There, okay. So you see that clearly. These are ancient images, family, that goes back thousands of years. And again, these are housed at museums across what they call Spain today. Right? So just get grounded on that first, right? So then we're going to kind of move on because now, remember when we talk about old social constructs that apply to us, but now, since we're under this current new construct of Black and African Americans, the previous construct that applied to us in the past have been hijacked. So when they're reconstructing histories, those old constructs that apply to us have been completely hijacked, right? And we're going to see an example of that right now. So we're going to go to this video here. And don't worry about the sound, family. I'm just going to tell you what's going on. Let's do it that way. And let's see here. Let's see. Okay. So, what will I say? So we're going to go to one of the older forts. Let's see. Honors. Many people talk about forts, and especially A1 honors out to him. I think Al Power also got into forts as well. Matter of fact, I can just type it up in here. Hold on. Okay, here it is here, family. So we're just going to show a little of this. Now, don't worry about the sound. Okay, hold on. Okay, so here it is here. Now, he said the first slaves in America were not African. Okay, so you see that it's written there. First slaves in America were not African, and the first Africans in America were not slaves. Okay, but now we know when they, we got to, bob and weave, dodge the hijack, as we want to say, when they say first Africans and Americans were not slaves, because we know that they were not Africans. We know that. Okay. So what you see written, family, is what's being spoken now. Okay. All right. So he's talking about these melanated. Actually, we know that they're melanated Iberians. Okay, let's stop right there. Let's go right back. Let's go right back. Hold on. Let's go right back here. Stop it right here. Okay, this is what we want to get to. So you see what it says here. These first, to use their exact term, black colonists were from Spain rather than Africa and were known as Ladinos. Shout outs to Curveo, who did awesome work on this subject here. But now, so we see this here, family. And of course, we know when you're talking Ladinos and we got Latinos, basically the same thing. So, but these are Iberians. Okay. Now, this particular construct, Ladino, because that's not what they call themselves, of course, has been hijacked. Okay. So, and then of course, this particular fort is one of the oldest forts down in that Florida area. But we don't need to get into that. I just wanted to point out this particular construct, Ladinos, which originally applied to melanated Iberians, has been hijacked. So let's move to the next video. Family, hold on a second here. Okay, here it is. Here. Okay. So these are Ladinos preserving Ladino music, the revival of Ladino music. Now, maybe, we go back 2, 3, 4 generations, her ancestors could have been melanated. Maybe she knows that. But the point is this: when so we know that currently now there's this kind of ill, almost hatred for melanated individuals who were in other locations outside of where they want us to be in a little small western side of what they call Africa. And very few people want to admit that. And so you have this hijack where you would think that the Ladinos who came back to the parts to the Americas looked like this during that time. Well, you know that's not the case, right? And so that's how it all starts, because once they can lay claim to it, those ancient Ladinos, their property, land, assets also get hijacked. Okay, so that's what's been going on here, and we're just gonna highlight that there today. So it's been completely hijacked, and so when they talk about Africans coming to the Americas family, I got to share this quick video here, and I will talk everyone through it. But this one here is disgusting. So let me find this one here. Wait a second. So let me go here. Yeah, so the notion of Africans coming over, and again, that's been part of their plan. Once they created the construct in the 80s of African American and got us to agree to that particular term, they had a long-term plan, family. It started before the 80s, right? But the long-term plan is to completely get rid of the heirs and replace them with these sleeper cells from foreign nations who look like us. And then the final draw was the construct African American, because then they could replace us with real Africans. But if they get us to buy into it, it'd be much easier, because we wouldn't look at them with suspect eyes. Oh, that's my brothers, my sister, with family. And that's all part of the Afrocentric movement and why it was funded, to get us to have this family affinity to them, right? As opposed to guarding our estate and our family, heritage and legacy, etc. Right? So now remember, family, I'm talking from experience. So no one in this particular cipher, and very few people around, no one was ever more Afrocentric than I was. Okay? No one in this cipher. So yeah, so because back in the real day, when the height, the supremacy of the Afrocentric movement was in the mid to late 80s and up to the mid 90s. Okay, so in those days, there's no internet, YouTube. You had to physically go, and they would go around, and then the radio programs would promote their lectures, and they'd come into a town, usually at a community college. They'd give their lectures, or some hall, but usually at a college or university. And the radios were promoted, and then they have bookstores. Some of the radio shops would sell the tickets, and that's how you did it then, right, back in the day. And so all of them came into Los Angeles, and so I met them. And of course, Renal Rashidi, Ajwa Kwesi lived in LA at that time. So, I got to know them, and eventually started working with Renoko, literally driving him to his lectures. And then I moved on to meeting Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. But we clashed, of course, when I started asking deep questions about evidence. He didn't like that. Um, but then I actually, started contributing to ASCAC, and we'll get into that one day when I kind of show more of my story to the family. But yeah, this quick thing here, family. So we see here Africans who entered Jamestown between 1620 to 1650. Now I'm just going to let you know what's being said here. It's shocking. Okay, so we know the cover story of Africans in 1619. So we know that cover story, um, sorcery. Okay, let's continue this here. So they said a census showed that 23 Africans were in Virginia in the 1620s. That they were listed as servants, not slaves. Okay. Then it says here Africans coming to Jamestown between 1630 and 1640 could expect to be free after serving their indenture for a period of about 7 to 10 years. So now Africans were the indentured servants. Let's continue. 1649, they're saying 300 Africans in the colony. Now, this is what floored me. So, Africans who were in Jamestown, Virginia between 1620 and 1650 were indentured servants after serving 7 to 10 years, fulfilling their indentured contracts. They were given head rights, 50 to 250 acres of land, family. This is where this is what they got to this point. Africans. So you mean to tell me the deal was to go over to Africa and say, tell you what, guys, if you guys we could, we can make this contract, an indentured contract, 7 to 10 years, take you over here to America, and you can, after working off your indenture, you'll be given hundreds of acres of land. Of course, all Africans jumping on that plan there, they're all coming over. So that means that the heirs of the land patents or land grants in Virginia in the 1600s, the heirs are in Africa. Maybe that's why they're all coming over here. Are they make to make claims to their land grants in Jamestown, Virginia? Because according to this, it belongs to them. Our heads have been in the sand, family. While all this is happening around us, we've had our heads in the sand. We pulled our head out of the sand. The next thing we know, your HBCUs taken over by African students and professors who are backed by China. So they can be spies for China. Spies not only are Chinese, whoever Chinese has control and jurisdiction over, and that's why they pump in, millions of dollars into these HBCUs for this future spies. And we have nothing to do with that, family. So we have that. And then, of course, um, honors out to Eris Johnson, and we were doing a series where it was celebrities um, going over to parts of West Africa and promoting it to get us to go there. Now, remember, I've said many times, we are food for every other nation. They all know it. We're food. They can generate incredible amounts of finance off of us. So this next video, family, I'm going to show here is and you just thought it was, popular. They tell you um, African nations such as that you're from Nigeria or Ghana or the Congo, etc., or some will say Sierra Leone, right? But and then Ghana in 2019, launched their right of return, and they generated a whole lot of finance from that promotional event, right? So because of that, there are other African nations jumping in. They want a piece of us too. They're standing in line too, right? With their pants down to their knees. All right. So here, okay, right here. This is the video. It's called "The Top 10 Countries That Offer Free Citizenship for African Americans." That construct. Don't worry about the sound. I'm going to walk the family through it. So again, what's written down there is being spoken at the same time. So the family, you basically know what's being said here because it's written right down there. So it's saying they're reaching out to us, and they have an awesome opportunity for us, a chance to obtain nationality. And again, what's the MO? You hire celebrities. It's like what do you call it when athletes get what's called sponsors contract, like with Nike, they get a shoe deal with Nike or Adidas to promote their shoe, and then the shoe company will pay them, hundreds of millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars. This is the same thing, family. So they hire these celebrities, pay them to promote it, and again, we are food, and they're all in on it. See, now, how does this happen, family? When they're saying that, oh, we can offer you nationality, we can help you rediscover your ancestral roots. How do we get in this position? So again, you remember, they turn us into orphans. Orphans. individuals without a mother or a father. So they need others to tell them who their mother and father are. Because they don't have a mother or father, they will become family amongst themselves. So orphans were referred to, oh, my brother, my sister, we're family. So then that makes us susceptible to these witches and warlocks who would come offer and say, here, oh, I found your mother. I found your father. Let me introduce you. So let's just back up a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. Look at that. Okay, your ancestral roots. This is your mother and father's architectural city planning of the highest order. This is their ingenuity right there. Look at that. Look at that. Let me take you back to your mother and your father. Look at that house. This is your science and ingenuity and infrastructure of your ancestors. Come back. I'm going to kind of skip it up. We're going to look at some of these countries here. Ghana. Okay, so we know Ghana, right? Now they're saying you must be able to prove your African ancestry. And this can be done by providing documentation such as a DNA test. You see how it comes full circle. They're all working together to get you out of your homeland to go over there so they can bring them over to replace you. And there it is, family. It's your mother's. Look at the beautiful, well thought out roads and the structures. You know, the way they got, the lanes for the cars and the motorcycles and mopeds, their lanes are separated. They're just not like running together into each other. Beautiful. This is where you're gonna go back to. Oprah Winfrey, she was granted Ghanaian citizenship in 2011. Now Kenya's in on it. How many of you have ancestors from Kenya? That's away on the east side of the continent. They're in on it now too. They're standing in line with their pants down to their knees. Aim to what? Attract investment and talent. Well, if you're an heir and you're from Kenya, what are they supposed to do if it was real? They're supposed to give you land and finances. That's what they're supposed to do. That's what the Ashkenazis get when they went over to Israel. They got finance, and land. So this here, shack, South Africa, they're in on it. How many of you have ancestral ties to South Africa? Are any of you guys Zulu? Denzel Washington family embraces his South African citizenship. Denzel Washington. Wonder how much they paid him for that contract. He'll be a hell of a spokesperson for you. If I was the South African government, we had Denzel on the team and promoted. Oh my God, it's a win-win situation. Zimbabwe's in on it. They got their pants down to their knees waiting in line, family. How many of you from Zimbabwe? They're giving an open invitation to us to rediscover our roots or forge a new path. Let's move up. Zimbabwe. Gabon. How many of you from Gabon? You got to prove your ancestry. You get citizenship, family. Now, this here is Ludacris. Now, I don't know if Ludacris is a second gen African or third gen African family. I don't know, but according to this story, he's saying his people are from Gabon there. Now, why did they say that? They said some critics say they're just trying to attract investment that will not benefit ordinary Gabonese. But I thought you said that we're your long lost brothers and sisters. Why would there be pushback and hate? See, they said that Ludacris is of Gabonese descent. So I don't know, family. I believe that Eric Johnson may have did his genealogy. I don't know. Maybe a sleeper cell, second, third generation, came in, hijacked, took the name. But in reality, he is a Gabonese African. (2020) he was granted Gabonese citizenship. And of course, Nigeria. We all know that. They're in on it. They've been in on it. You know, they've been in on it. That's no shock there. What is this here? Senegal. Okay, we know they're in on it as well. Senegal, they're in on it. Oh, Rwanda. They're in line too, family. How many of you from Rwanda? Rwanda. And you have Rwanda there on your genealogical records, your census records? Anyone? How about you, Lord Mike Fry? Any Rwanda roots there? Maybe 1820 census, maybe? If so, bro, you can get your citizenship. Zambia, they're in line. How many of you from Zambia? They're all in on it, family. They're all in on it. They're all in on it. So, um, so we see what's going on there. They're all in on it, family. So let's we can end that there. And let's get down to a little bit of reality. I want to quickly show this footage. Now, there's actually no sound in this video. It's just footage of an ancient citadel. Okay, so let's get to let's get back to reality, grounded in reality here, family. So let's do this. Let's see here. Citadel. Citadel. Okay, here it is here, family. So this is in Haiti. And many, again, shout out to all those who, go over this particular topic often, such as A1 and AP about the ancient structures. But this is a structure here I don't think a lot of people are aware of. That one of the largest citadels or forts located right here in Haiti, family. Now, the cover story is that it was built early 1800s to mid 1800s. Now, you're going to see it with your own eyes, and we already know that it's way older than that. Okay? So, let's continue here. Oh, by the way, this is the Haiti you never see. So you see right there off into the distance, that's the fort on top of a mountain. It's the ancient fort. Now they attribute the fort to King um, Henri or Henry the First, um, but and they want you to believe that it was built in the 1800s when he was ruling. There's no way. So you'll see, family. See, I chose this particular footage because it had no announcer. We don't need to hear no one else's opinion on what they think about it. I need each individual family member to look at the image, and then your own experience, you'll understand what's going on. You draw your own conclusions based upon your experience and individual visuals. Now here it says it's the largest fortress in the Americas. Well, one of the largest, the safest thing to say, because it'd be something that they've never found yet. That's could be much larger, but this is what they say here. Now, see, they want you to believe it was built between 1805 and 1820, but we know better. That's a cannon, family, a cannon. Let's just freeze that. Look at that, family. Look at that. Covers an area of 108,000 square feet. And we thought our 5,000 square foot home was big, family. Food and water for 5,000 defenders of the fort that lasted them up to 1 year. They never had to leave. Now, look at this. They had over 365 cannons of various sizes. Look at the cannonballs, family. These are cannonballs. Look at that. So you see some of the cannons there. Um, the geometry and the math is just out of this world. But again, similar structures you'll find all across America. When I was in Al-Andalus, what they call Spain, let's stop right here. This is what I want to show you right here. Similar structure in Iberia, same structure. Now, look at this cannon. So let's kind of analyze this here, family. Right now, usually a fort that's that has cannons is usually by the water, right? And the cannons will be targeting invading foreign nation ships coming in. But it's not located there, family. The fort is on top of a mountain. It's obviously there's no ocean in there. What were they aiming at? Now, I have, from my analysis, I think that, many of the local indigenous people there um, could have been whoever was part of this. I think they were different. The individuals who were on this fort, who built all this, could have been, those melanated conquerors, right? And they just kind of took over, and they situated themselves in this particular location because the cannons are not out look firing at ships in the sea. It's a totally different target, family. So we don't know what happened. Something happened that they felt that they had, and then the notion of having a food and water supply up to a year, something was going on. It doesn't seem like this particular king and these individuals set this structure up, which we see all over the world in Iberia, parts of North America, down in Florida, these forts and these cannons. But who was the enemy? That's what we have to kind of think about, because the cannons weren't out facing the water upon foreign national ships coming in. So I just thought that was interesting. Now this is the fort. They're going to actually move away from the fort and show the premise where the king lived and his family. So they're moving away. Now look at this. It's a different area. This is the Sanssouci Palace, the royal palace, family. They don't show you this part of Haiti. Royal residence of King Henri the First. Of course, it was passed down to him because this structure is much older. We got a ball. Look, we know what that looks like. Look at that. Opulent feasts and dances under King Henri's reign, grounds of a palace. Did Africans build this? Empress Hobart, what do you think? I mean, it's comedy hour, right? So your most impressive structures, they got us to believe all this time that we had to go outside of America to witness impressive structures, family. Exactly what it leads. Distractions. It's been right up under our feet the entire time. What's going on in the chat there? Hold on a second here. Agents, what's going on in the chat there, Lily Lily? Yeah, that's right, J.R. Niji. The mud huts that we saw there in Gabon and Zambia do not look like this. Yeah, awesome, incredible, family. So this is what they want been suppressing in us. So they come up with these doom and gloom, fictions, narratives, you know, to keep your power latent in you like a dormant volcano. But it's time for us to erupt, right? So, and there's no telling how old that structure is. We all know it's not built in the 1820s. We know that. And so, in that, same, keeping in the same theme here about who set up the original infrastructure and what I always term as American returnees coming back home. Because you got to remember, family, those melanated individuals who returned, because you got to look at everything went out of America, and we had colonies all over. And so those particular Americans who were in those colonies for hundreds of years or thousands of years came back. They didn't. What do you think? They just on a whim, say, okay, we're going to just pull something out of a hat. We'll put China, we'll put Indonesia, we'll put Siberia, and we'll put America. And whatever we pull out, that's where we're going. It didn't happen like that. They're not like these foreign migrants crossing the border. These people were granted thousands of acres of land, some of whom were given the land before they even arrived. You don't give thousands of acres of land to foreigners. So we're going to get into this individual here. And because of the routes, the shipping routes, so we know that a lot of the routes were up in the Northeast. Those waters coming across, not directly across the Atlantic, so that's why a lot of them will come and first settle there in the Northeast. And many of them, when we talk about these places, it was always located up in the Northeast, parts of what's called Canada today as well. So we just basically just came down and we're very close to the northeastern side of the mainland. So we're going to start many what they call founders, etc. We've been under the sorcery to think that these people were pale. Pale skinned people, family, were not the ones who came over to set up the infrastructure. They were not the ones who were given the land grants, because if they were, they'd be the heirs of those land grants, and they would be protecting that ancient system today with their life. Wouldn't be selling out to the CCP because they're Johnny come ladies. They have no skin in the game, and they're not the heirs of the land titles. But if you don't know that, you're going to fall for the sorcery. So let's get out of the Hollywood scripted movies, out of their reconstructed books, and let's get back to some of the writings during the time. So here is, oh no, not this. Go here. And this is all going to set us up for the image on my thumbnail here. Okay, so blow this up so the family can see here. Under the leadership of Reverend Stephen Batchelor of Southampton, England, wherever that's located, which actually could have been right there in the Northeast the entire time, seeking a larger liberty in October 1638, settled in the wilderness near this spot to plant a free church in a free town. They were joined in 1639 by others, and in that year, the town was incorporated. 1639. So this next image here. Okay. So we have here the old landing road. This was the roadway from the ancient landing on Hampton River taken on October 14, 1638 by Reverend Stephen Batchelor and his small band of followers when they made the first settlement of Hampton, originally named Winnacunnet, that's an Aboriginal name, plantation. The next 160 years, this area was the center of the town's activity. During that period and into the town's 3rd century, Landing Road provided access for fishing, salt marsh haying, mercantile importing and exporting, and transportation needs of the prospering community. Okay, and then of course, you look up here, what does it say? Seal of the state of New Hampshire. Okay, 1776. But before 1776, this was the area that Reverend Stephen Batchelor settled and founded right there. Okay, before that, New Hampshire. But of course, under the sorcery, you think this is a pale skin. You think a pale skin came over here who had great relations with the Aboriginals, and they just welcomed him with open arms and allowed him to set up an incorporated town there in the 1630s. You know, only in Hollywood, that's reality, right? Only when there's scripts. So let's continue here. All right, so let's get to some of the backstory here on Reverend Batchelor here. Okay. So it says Mr. Batchelor was excommunicated from the church, and so no church record exists showing his abiding places. Probably he preached to different congregations, not in a subtle way, but when he could avoid the persecution of the church people. And let's get down to this part here. On the death of Queen Elizabeth in 1603, James VI of House of Stuart, son of Mary, Queen of the Scots, ascended the English throne as James I in January 1604. The famous Hampton Court conference was held when King James uttered his angry threat against the Puritans. So remember that classification, that term, to Dr. Reynolds, the Puritan leader. Okay, so now again, I'm going to give shout outs to Curry Mayo here and the source material he brought forward when it came to Huguenots, who were actually Iberians, who when they were, you know, forced to leave out of Iberia, went north, and when you go north, you enter into where they currently call southern Spain. Then they became known as Huguenots, but those were Iberians. But they're not only called Huguenots, because this here, let's continue. The dissenters were called Calvinists, and Cribnell did a breakdown on that. We're dealing with melanated people. They're called Calvinists in Holland, Presbyterians in Scotland, Huguenots in France, and what? Puritans in England. Reverend Stephen Batchelor, our subject focus, was a Puritan family. But these terms that they tell us in their institutions, you think all these people are pale skinned. Let's continue. Go to the next one here. Okay. In fact, let me download it so I can zoom in closer. Real quick. Here we go. All right. Okay. From the planters of the Commonwealth, passengers and ships, page 96. This is the manifest in the ship, the William and Francis, and with about 60 passengers. Reverend Stephen Batchelor of Newton Stacey, County Hampshire, was on there. And it says the crossing was difficult. They were at sea for 88 days. At this time, Mr. Batchelor was 71 years of age. The cargo Mr. Batchelor brought with him is as follows: 4 hogsheads of peas, 12 yards of cloth, 200 yards of list, Quaking furniture, and a collection box. Reverend Stephen Batchelor's personal chair, now on loan at the New Hampshire Historical Society. So his chair is being, the New Hampshire Historical Society has it. And it says here, the chair was on loan to the New Hampshire Historical Society from 1958 to 1986. The loan was returned to the heirs of the lender in 1986. Wonder what those heirs look like today, and are they true heirs? Okay, so now let's get down to his physical description, family. Mr. Batchelor was a tall and sinewy man with prominent features, especially his nose, a very dark complexion, coarse black hair. Not, they didn't just say dark, family, very dark complexion. So let me ask a question. Would you consider Bill Clinton very dark, family? Anyone in the chat? If we were to describe his complexion, would you say Bill Clinton? Not okay. Let's take off the adjective. Let's just go dark complexion. Hawk Yost. Bill Clinton dark complexion. Hell, is Prince dark complexion? Elijah Muhammad, is he dark complexion? Smokey Robinson, is he dark complexion? Oh, now let's add exactly what it was written. Very dark complexion. So we just named individuals who aren't even very dark complexion, but you'll consider them family, or what they African American, the current term construct, or black. Consider Smokey Robinson black, same as Prince. Um, uh, Stephen Curry, but you wouldn't describe their complexion as dark or very dark. So we can't get confused on that. With coarse hair, that's the infamous, famous Puritan Reverend Stephen Batchelor family. So when it comes to setting up the infrastructure, finding these counties and towns, having the opportunity to be given acres and acres of land, which means, of course, who was the Aboriginal leader in that particular area, had to have some kind of relationship bordering on blood or very close family ties for any of that to happen. And we're going to feature another individual real quick. Another individual real quick. Matter of fact, I have this image here. This is Comedy Family. This is the image of Sir Francis Walsingham. So again, all images have been pale white, or what some call whitewash. All of them. George Washington to Thomas Jefferson, every last one of them. Why? To give themselves legitimacy. And of course, we, whether knowingly or unknowingly, aid and abet and help them out with that. So many of us still have vestiges of being under the sorcery. Okay. Sir Francis Walsingham, born 1532-1590, was the principal secretary to Elizabeth I and is popularly remembered as her spy master. Walsingham is frequently cited as one of the earliest practitioners of modern intelligence methods, both espionage and for domestic security. He oversaw operations which penetrated the heart of Spanish military preparation, gathered intelligence from across Europe, and disrupted a range of plots against the Queen, securing the execution of Mary, Queen of the Scots. He was born, they give a little difference there. Okay, well, they studied at King's College, Cambridge, where many Protestants, but as an undergraduate of high social status, did not. What's that? What is that there? Hold on. Because I didn't get that in the front there. Okay. Okay, now let's get to the next one. Let me show the family real quick here. All the way to. Okay. So listen, go to this right here. So, of course, here, 1570, the Queen chose Walsingham to support the Huguenots. We know who the Huguenots were, and their negotiation with Charles IX. Okay. Elizabeth called him her Moor, perhaps due to his complexion. On December 1st, 1577, Walsingham received a knighthood. He was knighted. Walsingham was among the foremost promoters of the career of who? Sir Francis Drake. Another one of Iberian descent. Okay, so we have to get grounded on the foundation of the returnees family to break the sorcery. We have to get grounded on that. All right, so let's get into the main subject matter of our thumbnail. Um, and there's a video that I will show and then walk through with the family there. But let me show you this. Go to the image. Here it is. Here. This is the painting. There. Belisaire. Lord Belisaire. That's his name. So, now, this painting family, Lord Belisaire, was actually erased. And I'll quickly show some points of the video. It was erased. Now, they're saying it was originally painted in the like the 1850s or so, right? 1840s, 50s. And then, of course, they're going to slap us with the curse every time. So they're saying this is the slave. He's the slave looking over the master's children. That's the cover story. But hold on, let me download it so I can zoom in closer. So we have to perform a deep analysis here, family. Forensic analysis. We have to have that forensic eye. Okay. So even his stance is a stance of someone who of a high social background and rearing, right? Very well dressed. And if you noticed, he's at a distance from these particular individuals, right? And this is, by the way, he's from Orleans, Louisiana. This is where this is located. This is where Lord Belisaire is born, in Orleans, Louisiana. So, but those who aren't under the spell, we would know that these are the slaves. Everything's the opposite, family. These are the slaves. You want, okay, let's double down on that. Okay, pull out this article. 1871, Alexandria Gazette. 1871, family. In this newspaper, an appropriate article so you understand what was really going on. Bill to abolish white slavery in the South. Just on the title alone, family, we just disrupted everything we've been taught. Many others have been telling you this the entire time. Especially A1 screams out to the rooftops, the slaves with the pale skins. Here's an article, 1871. Just on this alone, the topic, a bill to abolish white slavery in the South. There should never be such a bill based upon what we were told. So let's read it. The following is the full text of the bill introduced in the House on Monday by Mr. Van Trump of Ohio, and which was referred to the Committee on the Judiciary. Section 1, be it enacted that on and after the 4th of July, 1871, there shall be in the states lately in rebellion, now stop. In the states lately in rebellion. The rebellion, we're talking about the southern states, because that's when they had the rebellion, what others call the so-called Civil War. There shall be in the states lately in rebellion neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except for the punishment of a crime of or among the white denizens of such states. Now let's stop. Okay, let's skip the parenthetical statement. We're going to skip the parenthetical statement real quick. We're going to go back to it. Okay. Let's skip the parenthetical statement. On July 4th, 1871, there shall be in the states lately in rebellion neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, commonly denominated the, oh no, okay, well, this is going to connect with this here. So slavery nor involuntary servitude, okay, right here. Okay, this is the end of the parenthetical statement. So July 4th, 1871, there shall be in the states lately in rebellion neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, shall forever and hereafter have, hold, and possess all the rights, privileges, immunities, and franchises as the said dominant colored Ethiopian race. That just means melanated, now possess. So the article is saying melanated people have all the rights. They're the dominant people on top. Now let's go back and include the parenthetical statements here. July 4th, 1871, there should be in the states lately in rebellion neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except for the punishment of a crime. So you punish for a crime, you're going to be subjected to slave labor. Or if you are a white denizen of such states, you know what that is? It's a group of individuals who's gathered together in a particular location. White denizens can still be slaves. Commonly denominated the Caucasian race, contradistinguished from the higher class of American citizens of African descent, but we just know that's melanated. And that white persons, as a special act of grace and favor, shall forever and hereafter have, hold, and possess all rights, privileges, immunities, and franchises as the said dominant melanated race. Well, I'm just going to replace that. Who possess all those rights already. And all the late rebellious states as foresaid. That the president of the U.S. be fully authorized to employ all the military force of the nation to carry out the provisions of this act. They've been telling you all these years, family, it's been the opposite. It's been the opposite. So when we get to Lord Belisar's image, we're not going to fall for the sorcery. We're not falling for the sorcery. This was before 1871. That bill was 1871 for some of the pale skins, but the pale skinned denizens were still slaves. Contradistinguished from the higher class citizens, melanated citizens, such as Lord Belisar. So let me run this video real quick because we're going to catch them in their lies with their basically catch them with their hand in the cookie jar. You catch them right with their hand in the cookie jar here. Let me find this here. Okay, here it is here. Okay. All right. So I'll just explain what's going on here with the family. See, so they're saying this is the cover story, a real 19th century painting to realistically portray an enslaved person. Now, think about it. It's actually a setup because not only is it portraying an enslaved person, it's portraying enslaved persons, plural, because there's three of them. So it talks about how they erase melanated individuals from these paintings. And we all know that. They're just going to, they not only erase them, but they will pale watch them. Now he's a curator, so he collects paintings, and he was the one who actually bought that painting. So now there it is originally when he found it. See, the image of Bellazzar is not there, but you can see if you look closely, you see that there's an individual there. So he had a specialist come in to uncover, and then that specialist, uncovered, and there he was, Bellazzar standing there. But they erased him out intentionally. Now, if he were just some lowly old worthless slave, there's no need to erase him out. Matter of fact, you're just juxtaposing these pale skinned individuals next to the slave. They love doing that. But why would they erase and hide Bellazzar? Well, we're going to understand why later on if we break this down. See, covered up. So they're saying these Grasser family are a relative of those pale skins in the painting. Now this dude is saying that, oh yeah, the story passed down to us. Their favorite slave. They had a favorite slave, and he was painted in the picture. And for whatever reason, he was painted out. So they say a slave who took care. So we're going to move up a bit. So we're going to catch them with their hands in the cookie jar here. So this guy purchased it in 2021, a couple years ago, and brought it back to Louisiana. And that's the guy who uncovered them, that specialist there. But now this lady, this here witch right here, Coralie Deneau Frey, she found. Now that image is a pale wash image because I did the genealogy on this particular Frey family. They were, melanated as well. But we're going to catch them here. Okay, now. So now they're showing a census record 1830. Now we know, family, that when you go pre-1850 on a census, they only show the heads of the family. They don't show each individual family member name. Like, you have the husband's head of family, then you have his wife's name there, the children's name. But when you go anything pre-1850, like the 1840, 1830, 1820, you're not going to have the names of each family member on there. Okay? Okay, now let's go back up. Let's back up because this is when they watch doing sorcery here. Okay, watch this. Now let's stop right here. Okay, so now we see. Man, let me get rid of the writing there. Okay, hold on. Let's back up. Back up here. Okay, so we see here. We see, okay, who was living in the Frey family home. Right below that, there's a capital F and Frey. Okay, now above here we have Isaac T. Preston. Okay, now watch this here because I actually pulled the same record here. Why is this here? Let's see, escape. Okay, there you go. Okay, that's better. I'll just back it up here. Okay, that's better. So you see here T F Frey. Okay, now watch this. We're going to pull up that same census record. I'm going to pull up the same census record here, right here. Okay, this is the record. It's the same record. Okay, so let's zoom in here. Let's zoom in here. So you see here, see that F Frey above it, Isaac F Preston, P Friendly. So it's the same. It's the same deal. See that F Frey in the video, Isaac Preston. See all that? WM for William Edgar. That is 1, 2, 3 lines up. Austin's 4 lines up. So let's go to our image. Frey, 1, 2, 3. We got William Edgar. Austin 4 lines up. So this is the same census record. See, but now this is what the sorcerers do, family, especially on camera. They'll take snippets of a document, but see, they'll take snippets. They'll never show the entire document. They'll take a snippet because what they're doing, they're using a different document. Okay? Now, so watch this here. Okay, so watch this. Let's go here. Watch the play. So we see that we have the same 1830 census. Okay? Right there. There's the Fry. Okay? So you see right next to this Fry, there's a 1, and there's a 1 above at the Preston. Right? So here on my here it's the same. We got the 1 and the 1 above for the Preston, so we know it's the same document. But watch what they do here. See now here, now they're showing this, but they don't see this could be a total different document because they just got a little snippet of it, a little, just the area that they want to focus on. Now look at that. Now you notice they're zooming in and they highlighted the 1 with the square white highlight. wanting you to believe that it's the same line category as that F fray. But watch this. So here, so let's look at their image. Look at their image again. So we see here, they got highlighted 1. Next to the 1 is a 2. And we go further down, there's a 2 and a 1. Remember that 1, 2, 2, 1. They want you to believe that that's the same line as that F fray. But watch this. Here's the document. Okay, so we see here fray, we have a 1, but there's no 2 next to it. We have a 2, 1 here. Let's go further down the column. There's a 1. There's a 1. But you see that? There's no 1 with the 2 next to it. You see that? There's no 1 with the 2 next to it. Now let's go back to the video. See there? 1 and a 2 next to it. See, but you notice they didn't clip the name out because it's not the same document. This is an example, family, of what these witches and warlocks do to spin their narrative and to cast these spells out on you. It's not even the same document. Total misrepresentation of facts. And she said, oh my God, he's of mixed race. And he was a domestic. Now, you know, again, family, on these type of census records, there's no name. And this is a phrase, not even a Beelzebub. 1830. Okay, 1830. This is a fray here. So we don't know who's in the household with Frey. But what we do know is this. I have the, first of all, no, hold on. Let's just continue the video for a bit here. Hold on. So she said there, his name was Belizaire. Sometimes it's spelled with an S. I think the S is the correct way. So now that they had a name, they said they could dig deeper. Now they're using Louisiana property records, which they said house 45 million records dating back to the 1700s. 45 million records. Louisiana property records, family. She finds what she's looking for. You see how they zoom in on just a name, Belizaire, age. You have no context what the document is, what year is it. You don't have any context. They're just zooming in on the name. His bill of sale. So they said his bill of sale at the age of 6. Okay? That's all they showed. Belizaire zoomed in close, age of 6. And they're saying this is a bill of sale. But we don't know if it's a bill of sale. We don't have any information. Let's continue. So they're saying he was sold with his mother Sally in 1828. Okay. But now the real Belizaire that I have, because I, did some of the genealogy, he's born around 1825. Okay. And I have found his father. So they said this Frederick Frey was a merchant. Okay. And so here, she said that Belizaire accompanied Fry on some of these voyages. Okay. They want to believe that this is the Belizaire here. Now, this document, I have a copy of it. Hold on. Let's examine the document here. Okay, here it is here. So let's go to the video. Okay, you see that? See the video? Rose female, age 18, statute 5 feet. Belizaire, male, age 10, statute 3 feet. And down here is a $sign 150. Okay, let's pull up. Here's the record I pulled. It's the same document. Zoom in on it. See Rose, female, 18, 5 feet. Belizaire, male, 10, 3 feet, 10 inches. We see the $sign 150. Okay? Now, they wrote in here. Now, look at this. Someone wrote this in here. 10 September wrote this in here. 1831. But now another thing is, family, obviously there's type font here. This is supposed to be a document dating back to 1830s. Commercial typewriters weren't even available yet. But now look down here. Look down here, right here. Look at this. Zoom in real close. See, 10th day of September, 1/8 what? That's a 2, family. But someone with the ink pen drew in to try to make it look like a 3. But it's actually 1821. That's a 2. Look closely at it. Look closely. You see that? That's a 2. Right there. Boom, 2. But they took an ink and tried to draw it out to make it fit their narrative, to make it a 3, which is why the same sorcerer up on top of the document and wrote this 10 September 1831. But the real document was 1821. I say we take the document to be real and true, because I also pulled. So 1821, he wasn't the real Belizaire wasn't born yet. So that's why they had to change it to fit their narrative from the 2 to a 3. Here's another document, similar, and this is just all crazy here, man. Here, and they got Belizaire, male, and they have something here that says 14A. They scratch it out, right? Now we go down here at the bottom of the document, and we see that's clearly a 3, 1835. But if we look at the other one at the bottom, that's a 2. So this is sorcery of the highest order, family, making stuff up to fit their narrative. Now, let's continue here with the video here. And she said, oh, perhaps he was the caretaker of the children in the painting. So they said he was valued as if he were a family member, and yet could be sold away at any time. Now they're saying after Frey died, they sold Belizaire to Evergreen Plantation. Christmas Eve, 1856. Boom. That's all we got to show in the video, family. Now we're going to expose them. Okay. So he was sold Christmas Eve, 1856. Just a lowly slave. And then, you know, they later on said that he never probably so then she says here later on that he was a slave up until 1861. And then after that, she doesn't know what happened to him after 1861. She said, oh, I don't know if he ever tasted freedom, if he ever had the opportunity to have a family. Okay, right here, you see that? Evergreen until 1861. He was at the Evergreen Plantation up until 1861. Did he survive? Did he live long enough to experience freedom? We don't know because the trail stops. Well, we do know because here, family, is the 1850 census. The sorcerer just told you that he was sold when his master died to the Evergreen Plantation in 1851. And the record stops in 1861. Did he ever taste freedom? Was he ever able to marry and have a family? We don't know. Boy, I tell you, that witch right there would not want to be in the same room with me. Family, 1850 census. What does it say? Free inhabitants, city of New Orleans. 1850 census. What do we have here? What do they call him? What's his name? Belazaire. Here he is right there. Belazaire. 1850, he's 25 years old. They got an M for mulatto. Okay. Free inhabitant. Who's with them? Miss Low Belazaire, who's 24, and his wife. And then there's some other person here. And then there's a Joseph. Let's see here. It's the same household. And then there's a flutist there. But here is Belazaire with his wife, Low Belazaire, in 1850. Now, gets even deeper. Show you this. And again, this was his most powerful contribution for all of us here. And again, this particular piece of material let's see here. I thought I sent that to myself. I didn't send that. Okay, I'll send it now. I thought I sent that. Oh, here it is. Okay, right here. Okay, I think this is it. All right, so honors to A1 on this one. This is, again, the Carter G. Woodson, Melanated Slave Owners, 1830. Okay, I got a snap. I took a screenshot, family. 1830, which means he would have been 5 years old. Here's his father, Severin Belazaire. Okay, 11 in the household. Now, no, this is the this is the one, the Negro heads of families. Okay, this Negro heads of families, 1830, and it's the only one Belazaire family in New Orleans. It's his father. Okay, out of the 11 individuals, 6 were his children, 5 were slaves. We probably could have included those 3 pale-skinned slaves in that image. We don't know the date of that painting, family. We don't really know the date of that, and then disclose that. But this is father right here, 1830. Now, again, this is the head of households, 1830. But now the next image is from the melanated slave owners of 1830. And we zoom in here. Right there, bottom of the page. Severin Belazaire, his father. Okay. Now these 5 would have been the slaves. And then a total of 11, which means 6 would have been, part of that would have been his children. And of course, part of that would have been the son Belazaire in there. Now it's very interesting. They never give his first name. They just say Belazaire. from New Orleans. Okay. See, so it could be a case where now you notice that pale skinned witch in there, that documentary. Why didn't she pull up census records of the Belisaire family? Because that was exposed their narrative and the sorcery. This is the slave master here. So when you're talking about when they mention the evergreen plantation, all that stuff could have been owned by the Belisaire family. That's why they originally took him out of the painting. Because they didn't want, if they had you seen that, people can do the research and find out, because the Belisaire family was an infamous high ranking family in Orleans, or what they call New Orleans family. Sorcery. Sorcery family. So, the Honest to Chief Holiday, he said something profound that was imprinted in my mind, and it crystallizes everything with clarity. He said they were never the planters because they didn't own the land. That's powerful. Because you have to own the land to be a planter, to have a plantation. Then we know that's true, because the pale skins aren't the heirs to the land titles. So that's what it's all been about. It's the ground under our feet. We are the heirs. That's why they had to come up with these ops, family. That's why they're replacing us now with real Africans. After we bought in and agreed to that cursed term. And the African will smile in your face. They jive, they'll shuck and jive with you on your face, but they know they're on an op, a mission to replace you. And they're all standing over there, all those nations with their pants down to their knees, looking to eat you. Like every Korean who came over, or Sand Arab who comes over to these cities, who get funding and grants to set up businesses where we in our areas, so they could eat off of us. The entire planet has been eating off of us, family. Are you going to go down like that, or are you going to go down fighting? Look yourself in the mirror and say, what are you going to do about it? So again, thanks, family. Just wanted to bring some value, some perspective, some clarity on a lot of things dealing with the foundation of things. And that's what's important, the foundation of things. So if you don't understand the foundation of things, you're going to get lost in the sorcery. All right. So again, anything presented today, reach out to me, and I'll share it there. But a lot of the YouTube stuff there, you can go back and just type in the topic there. You can look at that yourselves there as well. And so next time, maybe towards the end of the month, ancestors will bless me with more valuable information to present to the family. Till then, appreciate everyone. Enjoy your weekend tomorrow, and looking forward to building with the family next time. Take care.